Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frank Jones. I'm with Coda Bears, and Jesselyn Anderson's here with us. And then I'm going to introduce you to for our Lunch and Learn, which we've restarted back up here after a little bit of a hiatus. And we have Chris Robinson, who's the North American Director for Parttrap, and then also Sophia Zahn, who's a Director of Marketing. And we're going to go through our relationship a little bit with Parttrap, which we've had with Coda Bears for quite some time. I work with these folks fairly often, as does Jess, and this is a nice e-commerce platform that we want to take a look at and give you some feel for what that looks like and how it might apply to your business. If you want to go to your next slide, Chris, and I'll kind of go over your introduction part on the agenda. First of all, if anybody has any questions, please enter them in the chat. We'll get to them at the end of the meeting. We're going through the introduction here. We'll talk a little bit about the online drivers, demo of the system, best practices, and then Q&A at the end. So we'll try to keep this to an hour. It is being recorded. I hope everyone is okay with that. We'll record it. We'll make that available to everybody when we're all done. And again, I think the key consideration here, as with all our partners, is that this product natively connects to Epicor. And I won't steal too much thunder here, and I think we want to give Chris the opportunity to speak. So I see a lot of names on this list that I recognize, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat. But I just want to make sure, again, please enter your questions at the bottom, and we will certainly allow some time to get to that. So if you would, Chris, take it away.
Well, good. Thank you so much for that very warm and nice introduction, Frank. Jesselyn, thank you both for organizing this event. And most important, thanks to the folks that are on today's call. We hope to make this a fulfilling, worthwhile 30 to 45 minutes of your time, sharing best practices around choosing a B2B e-commerce solution. So we're going to talk a little bit about the online drivers. You're actually going to see some software live demonstration that Sophia will be presenting. And we're going to talk a little bit about best practices and tips for B2B commerce. And just stressing that B2B, it can be very different from B2C. Okay, so, and then we'll have some questions and answers really at the end. So we're anxious to hear from you where you're at in your journey. Each of you, I'm sure, came here for some very good reasons. So first of all, a little bit about our background and, if you will, credibility on presenting this today. I've known the Coda Bears team now going on 4 years and know them to be an outstanding partner. So as I managed North America for Parttrap, I felt that they would be a great resource for us working together with them. And because of their tremendous knowledge on Epicor and everything around Epicor. So we work globally with partners like Coda Bears, but few that are as great as they are. We are a global company. We have clients really all over North America, Europe, Australia, Middle East also. But our differentiators have been that for many, many years now, we've been really focused on manufacturing companies that manufacture a product that you can put together and take apart, maybe have a good number of replacement parts that you really need to be able to offer your clients in a findable, easy to view manner. Having said that, many of our manufacturing clients distribute both through a channel of dealers / distributors / OEMs / manufacturer reps, but they also want to empower their customers to be able to log in, see the status of an order, and it could be a dealer or a customer, see the status of an order, track that, check on an invoice, check on back orders, inventory, stock pricing, really, and learn as much as they can about the items that they're interested in. Having said that, we do both B2B, B2C, and when you see B2B2X, what we're really talking about is that another channel that you might sell your products through. And again, that might be a dealer or a distributor. And we'll cover each of those today. So as mentioned, we've been around for quite some time. Just about every company you see on this list is using Epicor at their back end. One of our more recent, more notable customers is a company called Onward Manufacturing. They own Broil King, and they manufacture grills for consumer use, and they sell globally, and they run Epicor as their back-end ERP, and they've chosen Parttrap to be their global new business-to-business and B2C website. But they also sell through hundreds of dealers globally, and they want their products presented in a findable, interesting way. And we're going to give you some examples of that today, but also in the language, be it French, German, Spanish, whatever it might be that the client wants to see. So what are really some of the online drivers to have a modern website? Well, certainly, the COVID pandemic, as challenging as it's been, it still is with us. And even though it's now going on, I guess, close to 2.5 years or so or more, it really accelerated the B2B e-commerce adoption. Companies that used to exhibit at major events, be it Las Vegas, whatever it may be, people weren't going to those types of events or local events. So it became absolutely paramount for them to have a very rich environment on their website describing their company, the products that they do sell. Product information's really become the digital front door of your business, and statistically, some 90% of businesses purchase across computer screen. 82% of shoppers, mobile has become the new assistant. People absolutely expect that the same experience on your website it be consistent, whether they're looking at a computer screen like we might be looking at right now, or a tablet, or an iPad, or a mobile phone. They expect it to be consistent. The bottom line is every one of the products that you sell or aftermarket products that you sell needs to tell a story. So what we're really all about is not really selling a license for Parttrap. What we're really doing is turning your product information into digital information into revenue by making it easily findable. And once that customer gets to that website, it's loaded with rich content and an easy way to place an order. Okay, so the old way of doing things was companies had printed catalogs. I'm old enough to remember when you got a catalog in the mail, and the second you got it, it was already outdated. Then companies went to, if you remember, CDs. Okay, CD-ROM was sent out to customers or dealers. Then they started going on the web, but the problem was what they had available on the web was not integrated to the back-end ERP, so it was a very manual process. Many companies developed their own website, okay, or hired a local web developer to develop a website for them, which is, very doable. But again, the real secret sauce is and the really challenging part is to be able to look in an item and see the pricing and inventory as it is stated within Epicor in your case here. Okay, so sort of the old way of doing things, and many companies still have their, if you will, catalog of products on the website. But what I hear all the time, it's a very manual entry. So somebody places an order, it goes to some file, and then somebody is manually taking that information, keying it into their ERP, or somehow it's done electronically, but not automatically, which leads to mistakes, customer service situations. Okay, what we're going to show you here in a minute here is really 24/7 self-service for a customer to find the products that they're looking for. Again, doesn't matter, smartphone, laptop, tablet, find that product, get all the information they need about it, and then place a informed, educated order. So what I'll do now is I'll stop, and Sophia will give you a little live presentation of some websites that we built, if you will, our own demo websites.
So can everyone else see my screen okay? Is it a good size?
Yes, Sophia, I can see it fine.
Okay, perfect. So this is a demo site that we have that Parttrap has built in our system. And let's just start browsing the site as a visitor. So I'm not logged in. This is all searchable on Google, so everyone can access the site. Maybe I want to take a look at some spare parts, for example. So here is the manufacturer's site with the catalog of spare parts that they sell. Now that I'm not logged in, I can see that it's available. I can actually see the price here as well, but I can't add it to my cart. But in this scenario, I'm a dealer. Let's say that I'm a customer service rep, and I'm logging on to the website as a dealer. Maybe I'm standing next to an actual customer of mine that wants to buy a snowplow. So I can actually stand next to my customer and configure the snowplow that they want. So let's start with choosing the plow model. And this is all from 3D CAD drawings that you would have for, the manufacturer would have for production of this product. I want to have kickstands on. I would like the attachment system B. I want to have it the widest one. Let's do the tilted. And finally, I would like to have it yellow. So now I've configured the product and I can add this to my cart. So let's go to the cart. I have a bunch of other things in here as well. So the product I configured actually consists of multiple products. In this case, it could also be one. I could save it as a shopping list. I can export to Excel. I can email the cart, or I can check out. So let's check out. I select my ship to address. I can add some additional data here if I want to. There are some delivery ways and shipment options that I can choose. Continue to payment, some different payment terms. I have my order summary and confirm. Okay, so now I've placed the order, and let's say, and the customers received the order. So let's fast forward. So let's say that a part maybe broke or needs to be replaced. There are different ways I can do this. So I'll log back on to the portal, and I can either navigate through the regular product list. So I'll go to all spare parts. I do have some filtering options here that are created based upon the products in the product list. So let's do that one. And it was the attachment that broke, so I need to replace that. So if I go to the product detail page for the attachment, I can find more information on it, more images, more texts, the SKU, some attributes, some links to the spare parts in exploded views that I'll show you soon. Some installation instructions, so downloadable documents, the pricing, the add to cart, delivery date, availability. I'll get back to this a little bit later as well, but this is data we're reading from Epicor. So I can add it to cart from here, or maybe it's not so easy for me to find the part. Maybe it's a more complex product with smaller parts. I can go to the exploded views. We have 3 different options here, and you can mix and choose which one you would like to use. So the basic one is just the regular sort of 2D drawing of the product, which we add hotspots on top of. So here I can see that it's the attachment. I click on the hotspot and I can add it to cart from here. The next level of spare parts is using SVG files. So the SVG file is a little bit more user-friendly interface, I think. It sort of highlights the bill of material, it highlights the part itself. And so there's some data in the SVG file, but basically it does the same thing. It opens up the pop-up to add this attachment to the cart. Then the coolest part is the 3D one. So here you have the 3D model. You can turn it around. You can choose to explode it. You can rotate it if you want to as well. And it highlights the parts same way as the SVG file does, but 3D. So attachment, add to cart. We even have a multi-level function, which is if you need to expand to another level of the machine or what it might be. to find the product that you're looking for. So let's go back to this one. So as I was talking about before, which Chris will go into detail a little bit more, the data that comes from Epicor versus what we have stored in our PIM. So Parttrap 1 comes with a PIM system where you can enrich your products with more data. So typically what we would take from the ERP is the name, the SKU, maybe some one line product text. We have the price. So this is the actual price, and this is my discount that I have as a dealer. That also comes from the price list in Epicor. So this is the price that I pay as a dealer. Some of the attributes are stored in Epicor, but we can also create new attributes in our PIM system as well to enrich the product. All the product images are added in Parttrap 1 as well. You can add the connection to different PDFs and different file formats, videos, warranty information, do connection to different products, so accessories or related products, or other people also bought, and things like that. Availability is also read straight from Epicor, and delivery date as well. And the cool thing is that when I add to cart, the order is actually placed in Epicor. So there's no manual handling for the manufacturer to add the order into Epicor. You can also search for products if you want to. You can search based on name of product, the SKU of the product. You can even add, say, competitors' stock codes, for example, as searchable on your site as well. You have a My Area where you can go in and you can see your previous orders, your quotes, invoices. If you're a super user, you can actually take over the cart as well on behalf of a customer. And everything that's represented there is what comes from Epicor as well. So even if you would manually enter an order in Epicor, it would still display under My Orders. Okay, Chris, I think that I'll keep it to that for now, so we have time to do the whole demo.
Yeah, thank you, Sophia. And again, the purpose of today's presentation is just to, if you will, inform the audience of all the different ways that you can approach a client, but not understating the importance of the real-time integration of any B2B solution that you're thinking about, whether it's Parttrap or some other solution that's out there, or building your own or hiring some local web developer. That real-time integration at the back end with the ERP, in this case Epicor, is really so important. But also think about all the different search words, different industries, different manufacturers, distributors, all have different search words and criteria. As Sophia mentioned, it might be a product ID name that you have. It might be a size. It might be a serial number for a machine. Maybe I'm a made-to-order manufacturer, but I have a serial number on my machine, and the customer wants to be able to search for their order, an order they placed 2 years ago for that machine, and by serial number. It may be by a competitor's number. Maybe you manufacture a product, electrical product or a plumbing product, a valve of some sort that 3 or 4 other competitors manufacture, and you want a manufacturer's rep who might rep multiple manufacturers, your company being one of them. Make it easy for them to find those products and prepare a quote for their customer. When you prepare the quote, you want to make sure that it's not just a spreadsheet that says, here's your quote for 50 items and it's going to cost you, $20,000. Having an embedded PIM, which is product information management, every image that you see here, every picture, every PDF, every video or YouTube video that you might have attached to a product or a part is stored in a PIM. And it's easily changed if you need to change your website by adding a new product or by perhaps changing the design. You probably are going to want to have tools available to you, so you're not beholden to some other company to do it. Now, Parttrap offers that as part of our services. We'll be happy to, take your money and do that, or we can train you, empower you how to do that on your own. Okay. All right. So if you return control of me, I'll continue. Thank you for that demo.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so screen share. Okay, we should be coming back. Okay, you should see my screen again.
Yes.
All right. Again, thank you. Okay, so, boy, where do you start? Okay, and that's often I hear that question. Wow, this all looks fantastic. Oh my God, there's so much work, and I'm so busy right now, and yet we got to get this done. We know we have to get this done. So I say start with the basics. Step one is for your internal team to think about, what are your objectives? Are you selling product on the web today? How much are you selling? Okay, how profitable is that? If you had a website like Sophia just demonstrated to you, what would that mean to your business? What kind of uptick in your business? 5%, 10%, 20%? Go to your key customers. Ask them what they like about your website and what they wish they had. They'll probably be brutally honest with you, and that's a great way to start and to get their feedback as a part of it. Talk to your customer service reps. What would help them? Involve the key stakeholders from the very beginning, which is your marketing team, IT, your VP of sales, perhaps, other key sales reps, people that you, like I said, manufacturer reps that you might sell, customer service, and your customers alone. A question that we always have when we start for a rapid implementation is your ERP data in order. Okay. The key point to really think about is B2B commerce is not B2C. All right. There are fundamental differences. However, a really strong B2B e-commerce solution needs to have a lot of the functionality that a B2C solution has. Next checkbox there is choose a partner with significant B2B manufacturing experience. And it sounds like you've already done that, because there's not much that Codabears doesn't know about manufacturing, and certainly doesn't know about, Epicor with their Epicor expertise. So, and of course, at the end, compare flat platforms. Are you looking for something, maybe because of the industry that you're in, you absolutely have to have an on-prem solution? Maybe you're selling to government or some other industry that demands that. Make sure that whoever you're evaluating can do that. Available in both the cloud or an on-prem, maybe hosted on Azure or AWS, or in your own private cloud. So start with the basics. Another decision you're going to have to make is, do I go with a solution that has multiple vendors? When I say multiple vendors, you're going to have, certainly you already have Epicor, okay? Now you're going to have a company to build your website. You're going to have a PIM does the solution. Gee, do I keep my images in Epicor? Not the most efficient place to keep it, by the way. Or do I have to buy a separate PIM and then have a separate B2B or B2C or a dealer portal? You can see there gets to be an awful lot of complexity, which adds to the complexity. It adds to managing multiple integrations. Now you want to customize something. Do I have the ability to customize, or do I have to go to some other third party to do customizations? Like I know with Magento, you have to have a Magento developer. Now, either you have one on staff, or you got to go out and hire one, and they're not easy to find. They're not cheap. So do your homework on that. What happens when I upgrade Epicor? Who's going to fix that? Whose neck am I going to choke or point my finger at when things aren't working? As compared to one vendor that has experience in the industry, that has the rapid implementation methodology, that one neck to choke or point the finger at for support, and also has an online knowledge base available for you and gives you the ability of self-service. And I can't underestimate how important industry standard tools that you can do, add a new product, drag and drop, whatever it may be, so that you can get a new product or fix something on your website that's not correct, change the price in Epicor, and automatically have that changed on your website. Change the discount for a customer or a dealer. Maybe you have repeat customers, you have special discount pricing or quantity discounts that's set up in Epicor that needs to instantly be available on your website. So when I say compare platforms too, many companies charge by the user, or they charge by the number of transactions or the dollar volume going through their website. So they'll get you in cheap, but at the end of the day, it's going to be quite expensive for you, especially as more and more people are using your website. Okay, and be aware that it doesn't only have to be commerce. We have the ability to have really rich company information and product information, but maybe you want the customer to call you directly. We have customers that do that too. So when I say commerce, what I'm really meaning is the whole experience of that company coming into your virtual showroom, which is really your website. Okay, we already discussed the real-time integration with your Epicor system. Maybe today you're not selling globally, but as our country continues to grow, maybe my primary language is still Spanish or French or Dutch, whatever. So I want to be able to read this information in my native language, or in Canada, French-speaking Canada, okay, or obviously in Europe or other areas of the world. It needs to be able to support multiple currencies and markets, okay? Personalizing your website, it makes a big difference in your competitive landscape. Maybe you accept credit card payments today, but you're using something like Authorize.net or your bank, where I can tell you you're probably getting very high rates in a situation like that. We have integrated with a number of credit card processing companies. So right from your shopping cart, you want to be able to accept a credit card or have multiple cards on file and have that PCI compliant and bring that information right back into Epicor tied to that order. It's got to be scalable to support expansion to new markets, or maybe you're acquiring new companies and you want to be able to offer that new company's information along with your existing products on your website. As mentioned, you want to be able to enrich the product data and handle dealers, distributors, OEM, manufacturer reps. So a lot to consider. For the self-service side, I was on an extended demo last night, and boy, the driver for them was empowering their customer without calling customer service. It's not that they don't want the customer to call their customer service reps. It's that they want to, for those customers that want to be empowered to check on their order status or invoices, the latest pricing, the inventory, delivery dates, etc., when their warranty is going to be out of date, etc., or locate and order a spare part because they need it. This machine's costing them $500,000 a day when it's down. How quickly can I get it? Also, manufacturers today are looking to use their website. Maybe I have a large amount of seasonal products that I want to go and pull a report on every customer ever bought this rake from me or this machine from me, whatever it may be, lawnmower or whatever, and I want to do a marketing campaign to them, highlighting that we now offer new warranty or special pricing on those parts. All things to consider. Consider your key stakeholder tools. You know, your website should actually be like a new 24/7 sales rep, a tool to help you highlight the value that you add to customer. Marketing wants to have landing pages for various marketing campaigns. For IT, a simplified IT structure so that they can focus on what they need to focus. Customer service, logging in on behalf of customers to see what the customer purchased in the past or what they have on order, so they have quick information available to them for when that situation where the customer calls in or shows up at their location. And of course, for the product manager, if I'm launching a new product, it should be easy for me to do that. So in closing, an all-in-one solution is probably the best practice that you can have. One that includes the content management to build your website, has a PIM, product information management, to store all of the marketing assets, images. Sophia showed you a demo of 3D. Well, if you're using a tool like, say, SolidWorks, CAD, your engineering team, we can look for a solution that's going to be able to bring those to life in a virtual showroom environment, okay? The ability to move this machine up and down, have it moving, working and showing it working in action, manufacturing a product, whatever it may be. Should that be B2B, B2C, and B2B2X? It should have the ability to have integration with shipping, with other ERPs that maybe you're acquiring a company or being acquired, as well as payment solutions. And going forward, if you have other areas, maybe you want claims and returns or quotation management, et cetera, or integration with APIs to other external solutions, it should have all of those. So we want to really thank you for your time today. Our offer is to do about a 30-minute to a 60-minute review of your current situation, absolutely no charge. We can make some suggestions for possible ways forward. And if you're interested in doing that, I would ask you to contact Frank, whose email is there, and Jesselyn, whose email is there, and as mine also. So having said that, thank you so much, and let's open it up for questions.
So Sophia and Chris, there's a question here from Paul Kyle. I'll just read here real quick. What is my product? What if my product is infinitely variable? For example, snowplow blade that can be made wider, narrow at 1 millimeter increments, or even ditto for the height. So if you have multiple pick lists, so to speak, how do we address that within Parttrap?
So that's a great question. And I would say, how do you handle that today in Epicor? Okay, is there a unique product code for every one of those increments in terms of maybe the material that you use to manufacture it, or the specific size for that machine that you're manufacturing, et cetera? So we're going to honor anything. In our case here, I strictly have my Parttrap hat on, but that's certainly a great question. We're able to read any information, any table, and the data within that table within Epicor. Okay, so you might have a very large product database, and we're going to honor that. Okay, maybe it's serialized, so you have a serial number or a unique number on that. We're able to handle that. If you have a 3D image of that, we're able to store that on our PIM, so that going forward, if the customer can do a search on that serial number, find that unique item down to the millimeter or so, tenths of inches that you manufactured for them, and then place a replacement part order for them, which might have to be manufactured, by your machine shop or your manufacturing facility. So I hope that answers the question.
That's the only chat question we have. Is anyone else that's on the call have any questions for either Chris or for Sophia?
Okay, well, Chris will jump in. I would ask, please, give us some feedback. Was this, you're not going to hurt our feelings, but was this useful information, the way it was presented? Was it helpful in your search?
This is from Michael. This is where is customer data, shipping address, payment type, etc. stored?
Good question. So everything that belongs in Epicor stays in Epicor. And by that, I mean the customer information, the address or addresses that they have, okay, the discount level or pricing that they have, that's all stored in Epicor. It's not, so you're not duplicating data back and forth. Again, we're reading that Epicor data real time. So all of that information is stored there. Maybe you have multiple warehouses that you can pull stock from too. We have customers that want to empower, manufacturers that want to empower their customers to take a look at the stock level at various warehouses and then place an order really from there. So I hope did I answer your question?
Yes, he said.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
you did.
Thanks, Michael.
And then Chris I think just kicked off here, but one of the Chris's that's on the call and said, thank you for a nice presentation. So we'll certainly acknowledge that when I talk to him next.
Well, good. Well, again, Sophie and I would like to thank the Coda Bears team and all of the companies who attended today's event. Any question is a good question. And as I mentioned, please consider that a review of your current situation. You may not be ready right now, and that's absolutely fine. We're here to help you in your journey and guide you along. And we're going to be brutally honest and tell you, gee, we're not a good fit for you, or hey, here are some things you should really look at. So, and we're always happy to do a demonstration. And we'd like to do a demonstration with your own products pulled into Parttrap, and we could add, as Sophia demonstrated, hotspots onto that. So think of, I manufacture, say, a golf cart, but the part I need is in the motor. So taking that golf cart, exploding it into its components, clicking on the motor, exploding the motor into all of its bill of materials, because I need a shaft or I need a bushing for that part, and I need it delivered right away. Make sure it's in stock and delivered right away, and to be able to track that. That's what Parttrap does, and that's where really your customers, from a customer service perspective, are driving manufacturers today. So thank you again. Have a great day, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your time. We appreciate it, and please feel free to ask any questions or come back to us with any concerns that you have. Have a nice day. Thank you.